ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, so we saw Krishna saying that don't waste your time trying to get the vision of Vishwarupa. Okay, that message is by Vyasa to all of us also. Okay, don't try it. Okay, you can visualize what you want. That's okay. That's good also. In fact, I had asked people to do that because it will help you understand the vastness of the human form. Okay, but if you think you are going to literally get the Vishwarupa Darshanam, it won't happen. For the simple reason that the human mind cannot hold all those details in your mind. It will blow your mind out. So keeping that in mind, he says this much. Okay, then a few verses and we are at the end of this chapter. It's a relatively easy chapter too. Look, I don't think anyone has any questions or clarifications on this. If you have, you're welcome to ask. Okay. All right, I presume that there are no questions or clarification necessary. Okay. माते व्यथा मां च विमूढ़ भावा दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमीढम्यमेदं विपेतभिः प्रीतिमानो पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य. Okay. Says माते व्यथा. Says don't get scared of this form. You see, nothing to be scared of it. Macha vimuda bhava, or get confused. You're inside, outside, what, etc. You know. Because remember, Arjuna saw it with a special vision. But at the same time, it is, even with all the special vision, etc., remember, it's a human mind that has to conceive of it. Arjuna's mind, well trained as it is, phenomenal mind, but it is still human and suffers from human limitation. So that, you know, disorientation, etc., when you see something like this, is quite natural. Okay. Our minds would have been blown. His mind at least was only disoriented a bit. Therefore he says, Mate vimoda bhavaha drishtva rupam ghoram idyam idam. To having seen this ghora rupaha, because all things bright and beautiful is Ishvara, death and destruction is also Ishvara. Okay? Yeah. You can't separate the two, and they're only bright and beautiful. Okay? Yeah. If there is light, there will be shade as well. Even human beings, we all have a dark side, etc. And this we will do it in a workshop sometime, how to get in touch with your dark side and be comfortable with it. Okay? Very often the dark side is your strength. But we will do that when we can meet offline in a more conducive setup for something like that. Because that will require a more personal touch than this, than online. Okay. Because some of it can be a little disturbing. Okay. Because you may find, okay, let me even give you a touch upon it. I have asked this before. Is any of you capable of killing? Most of you will say never.
Maximum cockroach.
Forget cockroach, I am talking about another human being.
Okay, no chance.
Are you capable of killing another human being? Are you capable of, okay, not killing, are you capable of taking a knife and stabbing another human being? and it may result in his death.
In defense.
Yeah. If your daughter was going to be raped by someone and you're seeing that man attacking her and there is a knife lying down there, what would you do? What would you do? Your motherly instincts will make you attack him. So it's better to be aware of the dark side that you have, that you are capable of it. Harness it, tame it, discipline it, so that you can use it when necessary within limits. I will not kill that guy, I'll knock him out. Definitely. Why? Because harnessed and disciplined and tamed. So like this, this was a simple one, a very hypothetical situation. But when you discover some dark side about yourself, it may not be very comfortable. That's why I want to do those part of it live, okay? Offline. When you can have that contact, I can see which minds are being very uncomfortable and deal with that. Okay. Here some of us are thousands of miles apart, at least hundreds of miles. There are people from UK and all joining in, so difficult. Yeah. So, but sometime in some camp or something we'll do. All right. So that is, therefore, Arjuna was very comfortable with those aspects of it, His dark side, his feminine side, all that, he was very comfortable with that. But still, this is a Ghora Rupam, okay? Therefore, he says, Mamedam Vyapete bhi priti manaha. Okay. Be free from fear. Vyapete bhi, be free from fear. Priti manaha, be one of pleased mind. Santushto bhava, okay? Santushto bhava, okay? Punastvam tadeva me rupam idam prapashya. Again, have a look at my form now. Why? Because now he is showing him the gentle form. Chaturbhujam, Shankachakra, Gadadharam, etc. Showing, that's a very pleasing form. Okay. That many of you have it in your homes. The, what you call, painting, lithograph print of Mahavishnu. So, Priti Manaha Bhava. Though why they make him so effeminate, I don't understand, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, Idam Prapashya Priti Mano Bhava. Okay. So, that is the ending at the battlefield. Now remember, Sanjaya is reporting all this to Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya is getting all this as bonus, okay? Yeah. Thanks to Dhritarashtra's inability to face facts. Yeah. Dhritarashtra knew for sure that if my sons are going to confront Bhima, they will fall like flies. He knew that. He wanted to know, but he couldn't bear seeing it. That's why he said, give the ability to see all that to Sanjaya. I will ask him whenever I want to know. And you can imagine that idiot, 10 days of the war, he didn't ask what was happening. 10 days the war is on. A small problem, Indo-China border, we want to know every hour now what is happening. At least every day we want to know. But here for 10 days. Yeah. Who gave Vyasa? Vyasa gave Sanjaya the Divya Drishti. So 10 days is going on and he is not asking. Finally on the 10th day, he heard Bhishma had fallen. So yeah, oh, now tell me what all happened. Bhishma has fallen. Anyway, that is what happens when you are in denial, when you don't want to face facts. One thing everyone needs to develop, whether you want moksha or not, is the ability to face facts. The good, the bad, the ugly. Good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. Okay, therefore what? Sanjay Vacha iti Arjunam Vasudevasthato Vach Uktva Swakam Rupam Darshamaya Bhuyaha Ashvasamasah cha Bhitamayanam Bhutva Punah Saumyam Vapur Mahatma. Okay, Ityevam Arjunam. This Arjuna was in this manner, little bit shaken up. Vasudeva, Krishna, Tatha Uktva, having said that, Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha, again showed his gentle form. Chaturbhuja form again he showed, and Ashvasa Yamasaha Sabhitamena. The person who was shaken up, okay, that person, Arjuna, is Ashvasa Yamasa. Sort of calmed him down, said, hey, relax, I'm your buddy here, okay? I'm Chaturbhuja now, not Sahasrabahu, okay? Punah Menam Bhutva, Punaha Saumyam Puram Mahatma. And then what? Again took back, became what? Krishna, the form of Krishna, Arjuna's buddy, brother-in-law, etc. Okay, back to normal. Okay, back to normal. Sure. Okay, yeah, he's put on a show. The show is over now. Chalo, back to normal. Then now Arjuna is saying something. Arjuna uvacha Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanim asmi samvrittam svachetaha prakritim gata. Okay, and he says Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna is saying Drishtva idam manusham rupam, seeing your human form as Krishna Vasudeva, son of Devaki, etc. Alright. Tava saumyam janardana, your pleasant form. Okay, saumyam janardana. Idanim asmi samvritaha swachetaha prakritim gata. Okay. Says idam asmi, idanim asmi, now I am what? Samvritam prakritim gata. Sachetaha. My original mindset, I have come back to Sachetaha, calmness, etc., cheerful, etc. I have come back to that. He says, alright. Alright. Then what? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudarsham idam rupam drishtva nasi yanmama devaha api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhagavan is saying, what is he saying now? He says, Sudarsham idam rupam. Idam darsham meaning to see this. Durdarsham, difficult to see. Sudurdarsham, very difficult to see. Okay. Okay, very difficult to see. Drishtavanasi yanmama. To see my form, Vishwarupa, very difficult to see, he says. Practically impossible. Devaha api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. Even the gods seek to see that form, but they don't get a chance. Chaturbhuja form fir bhi possible hai, but not the Vishwarupa form. Okay, Sudarsham idam darshana kankshinaha. Again he is repeating, okay. Naham vedena tapasa na danena cha ijjayam shakyam eva vido drishtvam drishtva nasimam yatha. Naham vedena, not by the study of the Veda or swadhyaya of the Veda, chanting of the Veda, etc. Every Monday you can do Rudra 11 times, still you will not see this form. Okay. You can be doing Sahasranamam all your life. Na Vedena, na Tapasa. All the tapas you can do. Tapyate. Okay, normally I have been interpreting tapas as stepping out of your comfort zone for growth, etc. Which is true. That is what it appears in our life. But tapas also means tapyate iti, to heat up. You are doing actions, things which will heat up your system. What is that tapas? That tapas is lot of this energy, what we call is popularly known as energy work, etc. Okay. Huge amount of pranayamas. There are meditations which will heat up your system. Those advanced practices I don't teach generally, because you have to do it under a constant guidance of someone who has to be in touch with you every day. Those pranayamas are advanced, and if done wrongly, they can damage your internal organs, especially your liver, kidneys. Okay. You don't want that happening. You don't want that happening. But if you want to learn it, you have to be in touch with somebody every day and report back to the teacher what's happening in your system. That is for those type of things. I've dabbled in it. I know what it is, but I don't generally teach those things. Tapas. Similarly, meditations like that. Tapas. Okay. What Jagi Vasudev teaches as Shakti Chalan, Shambhavi, etc. Some of them are those type of meditation. What Joe Dispenza in the Western world teaches as pineal eye meditation, etc. Pineal gland activation. All these are those type of things. But be very careful. Don't listen to a YouTube video and do it, because now everything is on YouTube. Okay? I will never put something like this on YouTube. Dangerous. Dangerous for people. Why do you need it anyway? For your normal life, Karma Yoga is enough. You don't need all those things. You're not going to do all that tapas. Okay. Step out of your comfort zone, do things which are uncomfortable, grow in that. That's enough. That's enough. Therefore, he says, because if you want moksha, if you want siddhis, you can do those things. But what siddhi is there in front of moksha anyway? Therefore, he says, na tapasa. All that tapas you can do. All that tapas you can do. But nothing will happen, he says. Na danena. In that generation, Arjuna's generation, Karna was the greatest dani available. But na danena, he didn't see it. Na danena. Na ijjaya. Nor by any ishtis. Ijjaya meaning ishti. Vedic worship. Vedic yagas, etc. They are called ishti, ijjaya. By Vedic worship, etc. Doing different yagas. You can gain a kingdom by Ashwamedha yaga. You can become an emperor if you are already a king. Okay? You don't have to be a prince, you have to be only a king. Princes are born, kings can be made. You have to be born as a prince, but a king you can be by your own effort. Okay. So if you are a king, you can do an Ashwamedha, become an emperor. Do 100 Ashwamedhas, the present Indra will be replaced by you in the next kalpa. Even that you can get. Okay. Nobody gets it, okay? Nobody does 100 Ashwamedhas. Why? One Ashwamedha will take more than 1 year to do. If you have the wealth, assuming you have the resources, will take more than 1 year. So 100 Ashwamedhas meaning about 110 to 125 years it will take. You already have to be a king, so at least 20, 18. You're going to live 150 years? These are all impossible targets, okay? But mentioned, because maybe in Satya Yuga they lived long enough like that. Like Bhishma lived. He was some 165 or something on the battlefield of Mahabharata. And he fought in a manner that nobody could touch him. You can really say age was just a number, okay? Okay, therefore, na tapasa na ijjaya shakya evam vidam drishtaha evam vido drishtuhu. To see this form, not possible. Not possible. Drishtvanasi mam yatha. To see me in this manner, not possible. So don't waste your time. The idea is don't waste your time. Use your time for other things. See me in my Swarupa as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. That's possible. It's easy. You just have to find a Vedanta teacher and learn. हो जाएगा काम. हो जाएगा. Yeah. Of course, learning. See that you have everything inside necessary. See that the teaching is traditional. And work at your growth. Then it is easy. Now he makes one comment. Okay, what I said is based on what Krishna is saying. In a different way he is putting it. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyah aham evam vido arjuna jnatum drishtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapah. This is a verse that is misinterpreted by most bhaktas. What is that? Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyam. By ananya bhakti. Generally what is taken as ananya bhakti is what? Tvameva sharanam mama anyatha sharanam nasti. As though the God you worship is very jealous. If you worship somebody, worship him in some other form, he will get upset with you. These are all our projections on Ishvara, okay? I have talked about this, remember when we did that at 6 levels you can understand Ishvara? To think of God as someone jealous, etc. is our projection. But Ananya Bhakti is saying, I will worship only Krishna, nothing else, no one else. Shiva and all I won't even look at. Which created a lot of unnecessary issues in this country. That is not true. That's not what we are talking about. Ananya Bhakti is that Ishvara and I are not different. Ishvara and I are not different. That is Ananya Bhakti. Understanding the Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi. Understanding Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Viddhik Sarvasretreshu Bharata. That is Ananya Bhakti. To understand Ishvara and I are one and the same. That is Swarupa Jnanam. It is also called Parama Bhakti, absolute Bhakti. Why? What is Bhakti? Bhakti is love for the Lord. Born of an understanding, because every emotion is born out of a cognitive process, out of certain thinking. If not cognitive, at least certain thinking. Without thought, you don't have emotions. We have seen that in handling emotions, etc. You see something, you have to think something about it before you can get an emotion coming up. But the process is so fast, very often you mistake, thinking the emotion has come first. So, the greater your love for someone, the greater your sense of identification. That's why lovers say, na, ek jaan hai hum. You know, two lovers will say to each other, ek jaan hai hum. We are one soul, two bodies. You are my soulmate. Until when? Until the conflict starts. And conflicts have to start. Why? Two separate individuals. Therefore, we are not talking this at the functioning level. We are talking at the level of reality. As Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, Ishvara and I are one and the same. Okay, Ananya Bhaktya. Therefore, Ananya Bhakti is not an emotional process. Emotional process is the sadhana bhakti that you have. Parama bhakti is born out of recognition. When you recognize the reality, what is the response then? What is the emotional response then? Because we are emotional beings. Therefore, we will have an emotional response on the basis of what we are thinking. Like all of us have an emotional response with respect to Ishvara as a form. Some it may be through singing bhajan, some it may be meditation, some it may be seva. It's fine. Like my relationship with my guru, there was bhakti there. I used to enjoy his bhajans. Great. He used to sing beautifully. I used to enjoy it. How long? Limited. Limited. But if you had anything to be done, Swamiji, it's done. I'm there. Yeah. Because that was my expression. Yeah. My expression of bhakti was like that. Somebody else is singing in front of him. Hey, each one of us is different. There is no better, superior, inferior. Nahi hai. What works for you, works for you. Okay. This is sadhana bhakti, process. There's a process there. Taking care of your mind. Ananya bhakti is the result of knowing Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. What is the emotional response there? Sense of oneness, of harmony with the whole universe. Yeah. Ishvara is everything, so am I. It's entirely, this is called Sarvatma Bhava, Ananya Bhakti. Okay? That you are everything. Okay? Ananya Bhakti Shakyam Aham Evam Vido Arjuna. In that manner, you can know me. In that manner, you can know. The Vishwarupa also you can know in that sense. Not only that. Jnatum drishtum cha tattvena pravishtum cha dhananjaya parantapaha. Jnatum, to know. Drishtum, to see. See meaning what? To make it clear-cut knowledge. As Ishvara will be as clear to you as this pen is clear to you. In fact, clearer. How do you know the truth? When you feel that I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, as clearly as you see I am the body today. In fact, more clearly. How it is natural to take the body as yourself now. In the same manner to take Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman as yourself. Then you know. You got it made. That is why he says Tattvena. See, that is the key word there to interpret that verse. Tattvena. In reality. Not in the form. Not in the form. Tattvena. Praveshtum cha parantapaha. You can enter also. Enter meaning discover your identity. Enter as though. There is no entering. You already entered. No? If you are saying Ishvara, even as Vishwarupa when you are looking, can you enter the Vishwarupa? You are already in it. His body includes your body. His mind includes your mind. His Maya Shakti is your ignorance. और क्या चाहिए? You are already in it. You are already in it. That's why in Rishikesh, when we give Bhandaras, sadhu show their appreciation of the food by singing a couplet. Okay. So there is one couplet I used to always hear and I used to love that. What is that? Lahar dunde lahari ko. The wave is searching for the water. Kapada dunde soot. The cloth is searching for the cotton. Jiva dunde brahma ko. The jiva is looking for Brahman. Tino ut ke ut. Bolo Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai. All three are idiots, he says. All three are idiots. Well, because the Gita and the Upanishad is not saying you will become Brahman. It says you are Brahman. I am not saying at the end of the Gita you will become Brahman. You are Brahman right now. And the Gita is only unfolding that. So how come you are Brahman? Not because the Gita says. Gita says I am Brahman because I happen to be Brahman. Now what to do? Then why should the Gita say it? Because I don't know it. Can you see the paradox here? Do I have to say you have two eyes? May require some help. Like this spectacle. I don't have to say, it's evident. No? So why should Gita say something that's evident? Because if I miss it, if I miss it, it has to be said. If I am ignorant of a fact, it has to be said. So the Gita is a pramana to know myself, because I have self-ignorance. Okay? Therefore the Gita says it. So parantapaha, therefore ananya bhaktya atma jnanena, you can know me by no other means. No other means. This people misunderstand by saying, by God's grace we will see Vishwarupa. Therefore keep praying to him for Vishwarupa. And Bhagavan is sitting and thinking, ye kya champion log hai? I have made it so clear in the Gita, but still they misunderstand it. So Bhagavan will have the same problem like you and I have. What? Nobody understands me. Bhagavan is the most misunderstood guy on earth, I'm telling you. On earth, in the universe, nobody understands him. He's as good as nobody, because you understand is minuscule anyway. Kasyat dhiraha pashyanti, na? Some wise person sees it. Not to say that everyone cannot. Some only 1 in a million see. So take the population of Bombay, how much are all of you? 1 in a million only, na? So all of you can know. There is no reason why you all can't know. Okay? Yeah. Alright. Alright, okay. Mat karma kritam aparamo mat bhaktaha sanga varjitaha nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu yasan mameti pandavaha. Mat karma krit. Mat karma krit. Now he is saying, he had said that difficult to know, no? It is difficult to know. Alright, here is how you start off. Mat karma krit. Do all your karma for my sake. Why Bhagavan requires my karma? What? Ishvara arpana buddhya kuruhu. That's the idea. Karma yoga is emphasizing the Ishvara arpana buddhi. Okay. Your duty orientation, etc., to recognize that everything is only you. All karmas come from Ishvara, all duties are nothing but participating in Ishvara's order, etc. Therefore, mat karma krit. All this we have seen elaborately. Any questions you can always shout, okay? Because what happens, prasada buddhi is important. That's the starting point of karma yoga. Okay? Then what happens when you reach a stage when most of your desires are fulfilled, others' desires, it doesn't matter? Then what will you do? Supposing you reach a stage, okay, that most of your desires are fulfilled. क्या चाहिए? घर है, गाड़ी है, बंगला है. You got a husband, you got a wife, you got kids, and they are all doing fine. Only moksha left for you. What will you do? You may still have some things to do, no? Like look at Arjuna's case. Everything is there, no? He's going to be a grandfather. वो भी है. But Ishvara Arpanam still becomes important because there may be some responsibilities left for you. Kids are still young. Okay, kids are still young. The country needs you. The country needs you. Yeah, then what? Yeah, in Arjuna's case, or in any soldier's case, for example, Anyone in the services. Yeah, your mother may be in hospital, your sister may be in hospital, your child may be in hospital. But some hostilities are broken out on the border, then what? Then what? Or these defense ties are important, therefore you have to go there. What? How much can you balance out? Remember, life is a dynamic balance. Therefore, sometimes it looks like imbalance. Ishwararpanam. Always choose what is larger, what is greater. Therefore, Ishwararpana Buddhi always becomes in your life. It is not that when you take sannyasa, Ishwararpana Buddhi is not there. In fact, your whole life is Arpanam on Ishvara. It is not that, okay, Karma Yoga has Ishwararpanam and Prasada Buddhi. What about sannyasa? In greater measure. Why? At least in Karma Yoga, you are doing something and saying it's dedicated to Ishvara. And what you are getting is prasada. Karma phalam is prasada. What about a sannyasi? You don't know where the next meal is going to come from. If you are living like a sadhu in Rishikesh, like how we lived, you don't know where the next meal is going to come from. You hope in the kshetra it's available. But it's only a hope. It's not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. So what? Everything is Ishvara Arpitam. No? What is not Ishvara Arpitam? Yeah. Therefore, mat karma krit. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Okay? Mat karma krit. Mat bhaktaha. For that you need a lot of devotion to me. Lot of trust in Ishvaras. What I need, Ishvara will take care of. And if I don't get it, I don't need it. Simple. You know, even earlier days, when my mother was alive, before my sannyasa, etc., she used to sometimes come and watch me packing on a trip. My packing takes 5 minutes. Some clothes will be done, some this will be done, some clothes. And she says, have you taken everything you need? Yeah, everything is inside. What if you have forgotten something? I don't need it then. Problem solved. Yeah, sadhu mind, you know. What is there in it is there in it. Yeah. If you have forgotten it, probably you don't need it. So if Ishvara gives it to you, good. If it doesn't, you don't need it. You learn to do without it. So either way you are growing, na? That's what's important anyway. Yeah, that's what's important. If you get what you want, prasada. If you don't get what you want, prasada. Why? You don't need it. That's a way to grow. Accept it. Beautiful. Achha. That is what real Karma Yoga is about. Not easy, I accept. So start wherever you are. Ishvara Arpanam Prasada Buddhi with respect to your karma, etc. Start from there until it comes up to here. But it always follows you. Okay, that attitude always has to be there. Not less, but more. Not that it becomes less with sannyasa, it becomes more. Mat bhaktaha san. Lot of trust in Ishvara. Okay. Sangha varjitaha. Emotionally free. Emotionally independent of everything. You have a lot of people in your life. You care for them. You love them. You can do anything and everything for them. But you are not dependent on them for your happiness. Of course they make you happy. In their presence you feel thrilled. You feel happy. When some student drops in at home, etc., I am very happy with that. I am happy to meet their kids. I am happy. But remember, your happiness comes from Ananda that you are. Not from that relationship. That relationship only facilitates the Ananda that you are to manifest itself. So it's important to recognize that you are always Ananda. And Ananda may sometimes go through a miserable experience. But you are still Ananda going through a miserable experience. Therefore you are okay. Yeah. What happens when you go on a trek or something? People have been asking me, Swamiji, when are you going to take us to Gomukh or Kedarnath or something? I said, yeah, God willing, next year. God willing and virus permitting, maybe sometime next year. Yeah. You all will be happy, but don't expect it to be comfortable. Okay. By first day in Gomukh you have to walk 14 kilometers. Not paved roads. You don't walk 5 kilometers here in Bombay or Delhi, and there you have to walk 14. Or ride a donkey, a mule. You have not ridden a horse. Imagine riding a mule for 3-4 hours. Then when you go and have a shower, you will know what joy it is to ride a mule. When the water touches the areas where you have lost some skin, then you will understand. Don't worry, I'll tell you all how to handle it also. But you will be uncomfortable. But you will be Ananda all right. Gangotri, where the Ganga leaps down into the earth, and Gomukh, the source of the Ganga. You will be happy all right. Ananda, but miserable. I just have to tell the South Indian something. You get nice parathas there. Parathas. But made in mustard oil. I can already imagine the South Indian faces going off. Whereas the Bengali and the North Indian faces are happy with that. You are Ananda going through some happy experience, some unhappy experience. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you know that. Therefore, Mad Bhaktaha, have the trust in me. Start as a Karma Yogi. Okay? Mad Bhaktaha, Sangha Vivarjitaha. Work on your emotional independence. Work on your emotional independence. Sangha Vivarjita doesn't mean you don't have to be with people. Any wise person that you have seen in society, whether it is my Guru, Swami Chinmayanji, Akhandananji, Vidyanagari, anyone will always have dozens of people around them. Nobody is Sangha Vivarjita in that sense. Yeah. So they all have a habit. I'll go for a walk and come. That walk is when they are alone. Okay. But there also the 1 or 2 students will tag along. अगर स्वामी जी को कुछ चाहिए तो all right, Sangha Vivarjitaha, Nirvairaha, Sarvabhuteshu Nirvairaha, no enmity to anyone. No enmity to anyone. Important. Because if you have inimical feelings to anybody, they have a rent-free accommodation in your mind. They are having rent-free accommodation in your heart. Because you are constantly thinking of them in the worst possible thing than upsetting yourself. But Swamiji, what about the terrorists, etc.? Shoot them down mercilessly, ruthlessly. But why enemy? Why keep on having that hatred and this and that? Why build up that? Do what has to be done. This doesn't mean that you go and hug a terrorist. That is not the question. Unless you are hugging like how Shivaji hugged Afzal Guru. Okay. That way is allowed. Terrorists are beyond reason. You can't make them go straight. Too conditioned. This lifetime not possible. I am talking of hardened terrorists, okay? Not some sympathizers and things like that. There we can always deal with that. But therefore, no sense of unnecessary working up and creating a mess in your own mind. Nirvairaha. Freedom from that enmity. Sarvabhuteshu. Samameti Pandavaha. Such a person will reach me alone. Understood that such a person still has to learn. Okay? Still has to learn. Why? Because the problem in Vedanta is one of ignorance. The human problem is one of ignorance. I don't know myself. Therefore, I have taken myself to be like this, like this, like this, like this. What I am not, I have taken myself to be. There is a self-judgment involved there. That self-judgment is the biggest problem. And we'll tell, don't judge others, don't judge yourself, all that we will talk. Yeah, those are extreme forms of judgment which we say don't do it. Correct. That is good. But what about this fundamental self-judgment that we have done? That is why there are no solutions to the human problem in the world. Your sense of finitude, no solution. Your sense of isolation, no sense of loneliness and isolation. However many friends you have, and I am not talking about Facebook friends, that you can have 5,000 Facebook friends and still be lonely. But even if you have good friends, there will be time when you feel isolated and lonely. If you are really self-aware, you will have that. A sense of purposelessness. Because all that you do, look at what happens to many of our parents. They worked hard, they came to Bombay as from immigrants from the cities that they lived in, from the villages that they lived in, worked hard, built a house, said, now I have a house to live, each of my children, I have 2 houses, I can live my kids with a house each. And the kids are gone abroad and settled abroad. No chance of them coming back. There is a sense of purposelessness, isn't it? That all that you do. Yeah. Even in the political sphere, Obama created an excellent healthcare system. Trump came and changed it. That's why in the pandemic they were suffering much more death than we are. Purposelessness you are seeing in your life right now. Somebody else thought he will do good for the farmers, but he saw that's creating more problems. Terrorists are trying to hijack that agitation, etc. So he repealed the laws. You think he's happy repealing it? No. But he recognized the right thing to do and did it. Because you don't want that thing to be hijacked. Therefore, this is it. Purposelessness. How can you solve it? Many freedom fighters, the older ones who are still alive, a few of them are still alive, are very unhappy with the state of the nation right now. Very of them are unhappy. This is not the India we fought for. Correct. You fought for an India, you achieved that India, and your children changed it. Your grandchildren changed it. I am not happy with the change of narrative. Narrative will keep changing. That's human condition. Your grandchildren are not happy with the idea of India that you had. Now what do? Now it is their turn. Now it is their turn. So their grandchildren also may not be happy. So in their turn they will do what is necessary. Can you see, there will be a sense of purposelessness in your life. No solution to any of these things. Why? It all comes from the fundamental self-judgment, I am a finite being. That is born from self-ignorance. I don't know myself as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Therefore, when you know that, then all these things don't matter. You are in harmony with the whole universe. That is moksha. That is it. Call it self-realization, God realization, whatever you want to call it. Self-knowledge, simple. Things can go in 6s and 7s, and you can make it 8 and 9s also. Everything is crumbling around you. Let it crumble, dekhega. After all, some crumbles you like. When it is served on a dinner plate, apple crumble, etc., or chocolate crumble you like. So let us have a few crumbles in life. Be able to joke about it. You can take it in your stride. Okay, okay. Even if you can't joke about it, you can take it in your stride. That's important. Karma Yoga sets the tone for it, with the knowledge frees you. After that, what? After that, you're free. Do whatever you want. How should I live my life? Don't worry. You know, people used to ask me this question. You're going for all this wisdom, this, that, etc. What will you do with that wisdom once you find it? Once I find that wisdom, I will know what to do with that wisdom also, isn't it? I'll be wise enough to know what to do with it. And why should you do anything with it? Live in freedom. Yeah, live in freedom. Want to teach? Teach. Don't want to teach? Don't teach. Mauni Baba बनने का तो Mauni Baba बन जाओ. No problem. No, I still like family life, etc. Go, continue. Because that is your preference. Some like tea, some like coffee. And if you are a Punjaban, you will say, जब दूध पी सकते हैं तो टी कॉफी क्यों पीना है? That's also fine. Yeah, I mean, it's your personal choice. So how you want to live with this wisdom is your personal choice. Because a couple of people whom I knew, after this, gaining this knowledge, this, that, a few years after that, they got married. How can you get married after this knowledge? Huh? Rule, eh? Is there a rule? If you take the robes, then there is some sort of rule, some sort of tradition that you don't get married. If you take the robes of sannyasa, then yeah. There is no reverse gear in sannyasa, there is only forward gears. Okay. Because ashrama dharma only forward gears are there. But if you have not taken sannyasa, then you have freedom. Yeah. Want to get married? Get married. Want to take sannyasa? Take sannyasa. Want to continue as you are? Continue as you are. It doesn't matter. What you do doesn't matter. I enjoy working as a physicist. Please do, continue that. I enjoy running a business, continue. Yeah. समझिए, I want to do nothing. Do nothing. मस्तराम बाबा होके बैठ जाओ. What they call in Kerala is swastham. Actually, swastham is not just doing that. So mahimne tishtati iti swastha. Do what you want. What does it matter? It doesn't matter anything. You're free. Yeah, one person whom I know, after this knowledge, he taught for a few years. He got married, then came back and took sannyasa from Swamiji before Swamiji Samadhi. Great. He wanted to take a detour on the way. Yeah. Another friend of mine got married at 59 after teaching for 30 years. So I keep teasing him. है ना, जब शादी करने का था तभी आश्रम में आया. And when you should have come to the ashram, you got married. What is this? Ulta khopdi. And he enjoys it because he is a little bit like that. What does it matter? Live your life the way you want to. The way your prarabdha takes you. Many of this, there is a play of prarabdha in it. Okay? In fact, it is said for a wise person, prarabdhaya arpitam swavapuhu. You have given your body over to prarabdha. Let prarabdha take it where it takes it. Why I am saying it is, was both these characters who got married, especially one of them, was a great friend of mine. I knew he wanted to get married. I introduced him to half a dozen girls. Good men. Really good people. It didn't work out. Why? Because there was somebody else waiting for him, prarabdha, at the right time. Ishvara's order at work. You mean to say you can't change it? Of course you can change it. Who said you can't change it? Your present effort can change it if you want to. Right? Therefore, with that, okay. Samameti Pandava. He comes to me. With that, he says, Om Tat Sat, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishad, as usual, in the Srimad Gita, which is also considered almost like an Upanishad itself. Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra, having both Brahma Vidya, knowledge of the truth, and Yoga Shastra, handling your mind. Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi, in the form of a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Vishwarupa Darshano Yogo Nama, the chapter called Vishwarupa Darshanam. Ekadasho Adhyaya Samapta. 11th chapter has come to an end. So think about it. One of the most important thing here is Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. We spend some time on that. Other thing is, okay, just showing you the extent of what Ishvara is. But that Nimitta Matram is beautiful. Exactly like how he has ended it here also. Think about it. If there are any questions, we will handle it next time. Or next time, we will start the 12th chapter, which is called Bhakti Yoga, which gives you various stages of how you can live. Various stages of Bhakti, etc. Look differently. Not as from your understanding of Ishvara, like how I did in that camp, but stages of Bhakti itself with respect to Karma Yoga. The 5th, 6th level, he is handling at as 3-4 stages. Because stages, etc. are your creation. You can split up things so that you know how to go up the steps. Okay. Though in the knowledge there is no step. There is ignorance to knowledge, that's it. But in other things, in terms of your growth, etc., we can talk about all this. Okay. So if nobody has anything to ask or say, we can call it a day. Okay.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
I had a question. The last two verses, is it the Bhagwan Krishna is telling that they are the qualities of a jnani because it's entering into the 12th
It is
chapter?
both. Some of it is with respect to jnani, some of it with respect to how to live.
How to live.
Yeah, it's a mixture there. How to live to gain that knowledge. Yeah, so don't categorize. Remember one thing, Vedanta study never categorize. So some qualities you will find Mad Bhaktaha, Mat Krita Karmaha, all that is for a student. Yeah. So they are telling how the student should be. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay. So you can call it a day. The night is still young. Have fun. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay. Om Tat Sat.
Swamiji,